All right, y'all. We are going to try to quickly go through the homework questions. We'll do that on Monday, but here what we'll do is we'll try to go through some of these tasks best we can. And everyone can try to do this. It's, the more experience, the better. You want to just be sort of fluid and fluent and able to just jump in and sort of figure it out. Google's going to always be your best friend. And in terms of what we're starting with today, Amazon, they have a really good help section. So sign up for Amazon, AWS, the free tier. You have to tie a credit card to it. They do a billing like some ridiculously low, like pennies or a percentage of a penny per hour or something like that. And that's how they charge it. But they give you, I think, like 700 hours or something for free. So it's just, don't try to like start the next Facebook with Amazon free tier. You just want to, you want to test, you want to dev. So so this is what the console looks like, right? So we're gonna launch a virtual machine or a virtual computer, a virtual server that we will install server software on, and we will expose to the web, and we're going to create a quick web page. So I just clicked on it. I'm just going to create an EC2 instance, test instance. Okay. Now, here's a little word of the wise. We're switching from CentOS to Red Hat. I thought that they offered CentOS. I was mistaken. CentOS is almost exactly like Red Hat. These are operating systems. So you see, we could use Windows. You know what Windows is. You know what Mac is. Well, those aren't the only two operating systems or the software that actually controls the resources, the hardware, the display, and allows you to interact with the memory. Red Hat is a very, very famous one, and a lot of corporations and enterprise use it. It's Linux. You have to pay for it, but they are obviously are offering it here alongside like these ones. So Red Hat's good. Okay, Red Hat is basically the same thing as CentOS. I'll send out an email, remind everyone. So we're just going to switch to Red Hat, which is fine. That's even better. Great. We're just gonna keep it going. So I downloaded the private key, and this is basically a string of text in Word, text and numbers that your computer will basically run through a decryption algorithm, and it will spit. So you will apply this key with the algorithm to some string of text, and it will decrypt the text and allow the computer to read it or use it however it needs to be used. And so the internet, or at least this particular instance, we're relying on this idea of public and private keys. A public key, it's just out there that allows you to encrypt it, but only we have the key to decrypt it. And we can get more into it. That's a high level. But basically, with this EC2 instance, we just downloaded a file called testinstance.pem. And we're going to change the permissions on that, and we're going to use that to SSH in, or basically use this terminal. That's clear. We're going to, programmatically log into this computer instance or the server instance that we are going to spin up, and it's not going to have like pretty pictures and a mouse. We interact with it with text. So there's that. It's spinning it up right now. So it takes a little, it takes a few minutes for the EC2 or the server to spin up. You see, I had one that I already made. Yeah, basically, probably just took the settings and redid that. There were some steps that I had gone through before, and it just sort of kept those, remember those. So if you see some different steps, just keep hitting next. You don't really have to do too much. Okay, so it's running. Let's see if I can find those steps somewhere. Okay. So you want to make sure, one thing you want to do, click on this EC2 dashboard, go to security groups, click on this test wizard, go to inbound, click edit, click add rule. Right now just sort of just do it. It's not necessarily anything you can memorize. Save. Okay. And that just allowed that basically allows so I already had one. Okay. Let's edit. Let's get rid of this one. So this is what you want it to look. HTTP, TCP protocol. So all that right there. So now we're going to be able to actually access our computer from the internet. Okay. So once it's up and running, hit connect, and this gives you a little this modal. And now here's where we're actually going to connect with an SSH client, which is not Sublime Text, but this terminal and OS X. If you're using Windows, just download this program called Putty. It's really easy. So I downloaded this test instance. We're going to use a command called change mode. We're going to apply this number to it, which tells it, we won't get into specifics of what each number means, readable, writable, executable, but this basically means that it's only readable by the owner, and the name of the file that we want to change the mode to. So what I have to do is make sure that I get to my download folder, which I'm already in. Okay. CD means change directory. This is the root directory. This is where I would have started. Okay. So let's say we first log in, which we're about to do. But since I'm on my Mac, I'm just going to show you. You know, when you are on a computer, you double click on a folder, and you see what's in the folder. Well, in order to do that in this interface, we can use two commands, an ls command or ll command. Oh no, ll is a different is one we'll be able to use on the server. So just for now, on the OS X environment, we can only use ls. It's a different version of it's similar to Linux, but it's not the same. So you're going to have some commands that are similar to the server that we're about to connect on and some that aren't. But I double-clicked, or I'm looking at what's in this folder as if I double-clicked on a folder, and I'm looking at it. You know, imagine these are icons. And when you download something on Mac, it goes to your downloads folder. So CD means change directory, but that's how you basically that's how you navigate with this interface. So we're gonna do that. Okay, we went into the downloads directory. I know the file's in here, so we're gonna go change mod 400, and you can do something. You can start typing. And since I know there's no other file named that, so I can hit tab and it will autocomplete it. And so now I've followed that direction. And we can literally just take this, and this is going to log us in to the computer or into the server that we created this instance. Yes. Great. Now what we want to do, follow a couple commands here. We're just going to copy paste this stuff, or at least some of it. Copy paste this. Sudo means for this one command only, act as the most powerful user on the system, the root user. Yum is basically a command that installs software for you, so you don't have to download the source code and compile it, which means you have to figure out dependencies. Dependencies just mean other software that you need in order to make the software work. So Yum finds all the dependencies because it's got to be the right version, you know. And then when you update one thing, you have to update everything else might need to be updated. So Yum sort of will handle that for you. So we're using Yum, the program Yum, and the command update Yum. So it's like we opened up the Yum software. It's like, you know, it's as if you opened up any program, you know, like you opened up Chrome and you can go up here and there's these different commands you can do, right? This is the graphical representation of what we're doing here, okay? And we're saying update, and anything, this dash Y just means hit yes, say yes for any screen that asks us anything, okay? So we're gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna also make some change. Great. So all we did was with this update was just say, hey, check the system and make sure if anything is behind or out of date, update it. That's already installed. This command is actually going to install Apache, which is a server, which actually is the thing that sends the HTML files and JavaScript and CSS and all that stuff to the browser to view. We're also going to install PHP in MySQL. So it's doing this thing. It's done. Great. What's the next thing we got to do? We have to start it. We have to say Apache start serving files. Okay. We're not going to boot up or boot down. Next, we got to make sure that the file permissions are readable and writable for it. So we won't get into the specifics of these commands. Just copy paste. Amazon's good like that. They got your back. It says exit. I can type that. I can in the terminal you can hit up and down, literally up and down the arrows to get to, you know, your last run commands. Okay. All right, so just verify. This is just, we run the command groups. Great, that www group is there. Do this. copy paste job over here, man. Easy breezy. Just copy paste. Don't need to know every little thing. Yeah, we'll go back through. It's not like it's not rocket science or anything like that. For now, I'm not gonna worry about setting up the database. I'm gonna create another video for that. It's getting late for me. Now that everything is installed, we're gonna cd, go to a directory, var .html. Okay. This is the root. Basically, when we visit our instance, can just copy this right here. Okay, great. If you see this page, that means everything's running. This page is being served from our server. So now that we're in the root directory, I'm going to this command touch means just create a file. I'm going to create a file called index.html, and using vim or v, I'm going to edit it. Okay, I'm going to hit I to go into insertion mode, so I can just type. Okay, and we're going to create a very simple HTML page. Okay, test. I hit escape to get out of insertion mode. I hit colon, write, and after you write, quit. You're going to have to learn V. That's a different thing. I'm just giving you little tastes. That's something just memorize. You'll be able to get by it by just memorizing. Okay. Now, we should see that. So, we created our first web page. Okay. Well, so that's how you create a server. That's how you create on Amazon, that's how you create a web page. From there, you're off to the races. What if we wanted to use Bootstrap? Get Bootstrap. And we can just copy these. Go back into insertion mode. Paste that. Paste those suckers in there. What's some other things we can do with Bootstrap? What did I say I wanted to happen here? Create a 2-column page with a header. Okay. So let's look. Go to CSS. So the main thing we want to use is their grid system. 2-column. So we're just going to use their classes for now. So I'm going to create div. Just as a habit, I give the root div a name of wrapper. Bam. Why is this one? Okay. I'm a spaces guy. You know, as a programmer, it's the tabs versus spaces. I just use spaces for now. Div, ID. ID's not doing anything because there's no. It's for CSS really, or if you want to use JavaScript to be able to select that element. But for now, I'm just giving it a nice convenient name. That's the header. I'm giving it H1. H1 header. And then underneath that header, we're going to create two divs, give them classes. I copied that class you saw me on the Bootstrap page. This is the left. I mean, we can always switch them up. Div. You saw me use tab there. I'm getting lazy. Okay. Let's go back and hit this up right there. Great. Oh, you don't want to put the period. Wonder if any of y'all caught that. All right. I'll do H2. H2. Body. Item 1. Programming is very much like, you know, I'm a guitar player, DJ, multi-instrumentalist, you know, I play piano, and typing and programming is very much like sight reading, or just like, it's very much just like being in the flow, you know? You just think about what you're going to do before you do it, and it just sort of happens as you watch it, right? Once you understand the things that you're using, a tag is a link, and you know it needs an href, and you know if you want to do unordered list with dots and bullets, I mean, all these things are going to be things we're going to learn, and you take it bit by bit, and you really learn it by using it. And I'm mixing a lot of things here. I created my own IDs that aren't going to do anything right now. They're just habit, and if I wanted to, I could then apply styles, but these are Bootstrap styles that we get by including these link references into our the head. I mean, you could put them, you could put the script at the bottom if you wanted to, but we're including our head for now. And I said first I created a header, and underneath it I created these two right here. If you want to really quickly create styles, either in the head or the body, you can create some style tags, and I could style the header. I could say width 100%, so it takes up the whole width. Okay. Exit out of insertion mode, : right quit. We should see some type of update, we hope, huh? Let's see. And there we go. If we want to see the lines of demarcation, div border 1 pixel width, solid, so not dash, but just a solid line, color black. It's memorization, people. That's what it is. But once you do it, it just becomes muscle memory, right? Okay. And I could, you know, adjust the height, but you get the point. Okay. So we're on our way to making a web page right there using Bootstrap. If I wanted to do some JavaScript, I could, similar to these style tags and similar to these scripts, I'm creating script tags just without a source. Go insertion mode. Script. And again, this is just sort of that memorization you gotta do. Oh, you know what we also need to do? jQuery CDN. See how all these sites make it so easy. So include jQuery. In order to document ready, function inside it. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. This is what I was trying to do. I always forget the exact syntax for it. Sorry for me. I gotta just bite the bullet and remember it. Okay, so this is a self-executing function. Basically, as soon as this is just like shorthand notation, and basically if you want everything to be loaded and applied correctly with JavaScript, you're going to want to do it on page load. For instance, if you just start typing JavaScript and you start attaching, let's say, a click event to an element, and maybe an element's not been loaded, something's not going to work. So you want to, this basically says, don't start doing any JavaScript until all HTML and CSS has been loaded. And we can just say onload, we'll say test. Is this working? And I'm just creating an alert box. Oh. Okay. Bam. So you can easily figure out how to, or if you wanted to create a button. Let's create a button. Why not, huh? So you should be able to call your shots like Babe Ruth. So I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just use a link, and I'm going to call the link. You know what? I'm going to have it do it on any. So you're saying jQuery, find all elements that start with A or that are A's or links, and on click, do this function. Okay. And we're no longer just going to alert on load, but we're going to this code is attaching a function to the A's when the page loads, and when a click happens, clicked, whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh. Okay, we'll refresh. Let's make sure this works. See? So we've covered a bunch right here. What I didn't have a chance to get to: Django, installing database, and design patterns. Go over that tomorrow. I'll create a video. And basically, I can sort of describe so the database is obviously something that stores the data, and Django is the thing that's used to talk to the database, grab the data if you need to manipulate it, and then sends it out to the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So those are how all the pieces work together. So right now, we can create a cool responsive website and add some cool JavaScript things. We can add some animations. That's with what we already have, and it's running on a server right now, but we don't have a database, and we don't have a way to talk to the database. And that's what a server-side language such as Python can be used for. And Django then takes Python and makes it even easier, and has a lot of conventions that allow you to easily create like URLs and routes and organize the code in such a way that it makes it easier to create a web app. Because as it is, Python isn't exactly the easiest just to create a web page with. It's more specifically used as a scripting language to control the server, which is some cool stuff we'll do. So that's already a lot right there, okay? I can give you a hint with this one, MVC. Some people ask, you can install MySQL to computer with XAMPP. I meant to make a video with Docker. I'll do that as well. You can use Docker, or you can just install it on your computer, especially if you have a Mac. It's pretty easy. If you have Windows, I would just use XAMPP, spelled ZAMPP. Just Google that, okay? That's a lot right there, guys. Let me show you how to shut down your instance, because you don't want to just leave your Amazon instance running, because it'll eventually go over that free amount that they gave you, and that's not going to be cool. So make sure you click it, go to, we already tried to connect, but you can do actions. Terminate. Yes, terminate. Great. Volumes. Actions. Detach volume. Yes, detach. Yes, detach. I'm assuming it'll do it on its own, so I'll come back and look. I'm just trying to be thorough to make sure I show you guys how to do these things. Because it could be so easy just to like, okay. Well, the instances are running, so I think the rest of this will be fine. So that's good, guys. Have fun, ask questions, and happy coding.